and welcome to yet another episode of Redstone Lapis Lazuli. It is I, your host, PoGokeRo, here today on this happy Easter Sunday. Happy Easter Sunday to you, wherever you are, if you're into that thing. And if you're not, hey, it's still a happy day, right? Easter bunnies and stuff like that. Yo, I dig it. Here I am looking at Grandmother Station at Grandmother Mountain. I'm in the boat. It's nighttime. Let me get out of here. Out of the boat. Mr. Boat. Alright. And head on up. Let's take a nap. So I'm using a special texture pack today called Hattori Craft. And it's pretty nice. I like it. It's high resolution. So I thought I would dig it for a bit. Okay, yeah, hey. And here we are at Grandmother Station. Normally you would come in this way, but look, there's been a change. And normally you would go out that way. But okay. But now there's this thing here. And this is my working on Grandmother Station. It's taken me a while because I've been really busy lately. And tired. But this is a fantastic station. Oh my goodness. And when I get done with it, it'll be great. So the selector panel design is from a guy named Frilioff. And it's a really good design. I mean, check this out. Like, the lights work, and you can switch another one to a different one. And there's no reset switch, because if you don't want it, just hit it again, and it goes off. Like, it's amazing. What a great system. What a great selector panel. And it works in Bedrock. So this is really nice. So let's go back here and take a peek real quick. You see, this is I think it's a dropper. Yeah, these are two droppers. And is that a dispenser? Maybe it's a dropper, I don't know. I gotta check. I forgot how this works. But it shoots, basically it goes in a circle. This thing goes in a circle. And if it goes once, it'll wait here. And then if you press it again, it drops through and falls back to its neutral position. And so it stays locked in its position. And if you pick someone else, this will fall through and it'll go to the next one. So right now, none are selected. Let me go select one. So let's say we're going to AFK Swamp Base. So I select that one. That lantern, this thing here, this one's got nothing in it. But this has got a piece of dirt in it. But over here on this one that's turned on, the comparator, there's a piece of redstone torch. Hey, what's up with that? Is it supposed to be a redstone torch? I don't know how that happened. Uh-oh. Let's see if it works. Alright, so normally it wouldn't trigger until I pass this line here. And I'll trigger it, and I'll push it out. Yeah, see, and it selected the correct one. So when you hop in your cart, you go to the correct one. Oh wait, I don't want to go. Stop. Okay. And then you come back. On the same track. It's so amazing. And then by going on that track, you reset this whole thing. So I guess some is dirt and some are torches. I don't know how that works. But hey, I don't care. It works, so that's what's important. I wonder if it works if I press it twice. Yeah, see, it's broken. That torch shouldn't be in there. Look at that white concrete. What's in these things? Come on. Oh, I see what happened. So as I broke stuff from over here, it fell into the hoppers. Oh. crap in all these hoppers. I gotta fix this later. Look, there's nothing there. What do you mean? Why are you on light? Comparator says there's something in it. Yeah, it's a piece of dirt. Like, there should be. Alright. And watch, now to reset. Because there's crap in there. Yeah, cobblestone. All sorts of crap. Alright, it should be a piece of dirt. And then you hit it again and it'll turn off. Yeah. Alright. Anyways, that's how you program which of these things is going to be locked. Because when you hit this tripwire, the pistons fire and push down these blocks. Those blocks. And if your track is selected, the comparator will be on, which will power this piston. Or it'll flip off the switch. So that when it comes to this one, power will flow through to the one that you selected. They all go down, but power only flows through the one you selected out to the piston. And that fires off there. Okay. And then when you come back down here, this track right here is the detector rail. So when your cart falls down and crosses this point, it sends a pulse up here. Well, and goes up this. This is a power ladder. Basically, you're pulsing power through this, and it goes up and it fires off these, right? And then this redstone shoots across, fires off all these pistons here, which push these pistons out. All right, when they're pushed out, these pistons are out here. But the detector has noticed, oh, there's a change. So it too fires a redstone signal down. And when it does that, then these pistons get fired and they push again. So it's a double piston extender. So you push twice, like it pushes twice. But these guys are sticky. So what happens is after these guys push, these guys don't have any more power going through. The pulse goes through really quick. So these pull back because they're sticky pistons, and they'll hold on to these pistons. So yeah, let's observe. Let's observe. All of these out. So these pistons were back here, but now they're extended. And these observers were out there, but now they're extended. Oh, right, I don't need the pistons. Oh, great. Okay, and I'm gonna move it off. I can't do it. You're gonna miss it. But yeah, it pulled everything back. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. Let me just tell you. Okay, now that I've shown, oh, then also the cart return, the spiffy cart return, it's empty, it just comes right back. I gotta fix this. This is kind of janky. I gotta make a real one. But okay, let's use this opportunity to go back home. And I want to start talking about stuff because there's a lot to talk about. But grandmother's station, work in progress. Important because this is going to be the new frontier. I'm going to start making a new base around here because, yeah, the update's coming out next week, and new villages and new villages is the main thing. So I got to find one to use the new mechanics. Oh, a bunch of new blocks. I think they're changing crafting a bunch. So we're going to find out. here, this is Grandfather Mountain. And on the other side is Grandfather Station. I like the extra room, actually. I like that extra space. It makes the station feel roomier. I think Grandmother Station is kind of cramped. This is nice and open. Ooh, I like the steps up there too. And then, yeah. Central Memorial Station. Yeah, this one is not so great. It's broken. I can't fix it because it's bedrock. So yeah, what has been going on? Let me move backwards. Let's go backwards instead of forward. So yesterday it was Saturday Market Yesterday was Saturday Market at Salem Saturday Market, and I went down there with my sign as usual, as normal, and then I stayed a little longer than I would normally do, and I switched sides. I kept going on each side of the market, and when I switched to the other side, behind me showed up a bunch of crypto Nazis. These are a bunch of old guys, old white guys that just hang out, and they're crypto Nazis. What does that mean, a crypto Nazi? It means they're Nazis, they're fascists, but they're hidden. They don't declare it in open. They have to hide themselves. It's the same reason that KKK, the Ku Klux Klan, they wear hoods. It's because they can't show them their faces. They have to hide themselves, right? So these guys, because it's not, you don't want to be out in the open as a fascist, because then you have problems. So these guys are fascists, but they're crypto fascists. They're hidden Nazis. And what do you say? Well, what do you mean they're hidden Nazis? How can they be hidden out in the public? Well, they're in the public, but they're not saying themselves. They're not saying that they're Nazis. They won't say it. They won't admit to it. They try to trick you, and they dog whistle it. So that's how it works. It's all about dog whistling with the right wing. Let's see. So how does this dog whistling work? Well, what they do is they hold signs that are pretty general. They look like there's nothing really there like you're gonna argue with. It's pretty like generic. So like the only way to really figure things out is to start talking with them. And if you're not savvy to it, like it's really easy. I watch them. I listen to them. It's really easy to listen to them slip in their little hooks. It's so funny to see them put in their hooks into people. But like, okay, so but they're Nazis for sure. So let me show you here. Let me show you a sign that they were holding the other day. Oh, wait. Okay, I want you to see that what it says. It says Russia is not the enemy. Who is? Wall Street, money. Whoa, okay. CIA, FBI, NSA, DOD, Congress. So the United States government is the enemy. The media, mainstream media is the enemy, and pro-war parties. But who are the pro-war parties? They don't say, right? Isn't that funny? So let's see. Oh wait, not yet. Not that one's a little more blatant. But yeah. So it's stuff like that. They don't come out and say they're Nazis, But it's not hard to figure it out, right? Who goes around saying Russia's not the enemy, the US government's the enemy, Russia's our friend? Yeah, right. So, you know something's up with those guys. These are these people, right? They show up behind me while I'm holding my sign. And they put their signs behind me, and there's a bunch of signs. They have big signs. I'm just holding mine. They have a bunch that they put on the ground, so they don't have to hold it. And they have a bunch of them, so they can take over the whole space behind me, the whole area. That's why they do it. Like, they don't hold their signs. They're not personally responsible. They just make big signs and leave them there. Like, it's so I hate it. It's cheating, but whatever. Yeah, and so their signs, like, you have to talk to them in order to figure out what's going on. And you start talking to them, and at first it sounds really, really generic. They say, oh yeah, it's all about free speech, free speech. But that's the thing. Fascists hide behind the First Amendment, right? Because the First Amendment is what gives them the ability to pull out their dog whistles. That's how they recruit, is with the First Amendment. But with covering by the First Amendment. Oh, I can say what I want. First Amendment covers me. But because they're fascists, right? They don't actually believe in it. They don't believe in the idea of the First Amendment, that all humans have the freedom of consciousness. They don't actually believe it. Because as soon as they get power, they will take that right away from you. They will not let you have the right to free speech. Nope. Fascists only use the power of free speech to further their agenda, and then they'll take it away from you. How do I know this? Because that's what they did. One of the reasons why I started standing outside holding my sign saying Trump is a traitor is because these guys were out there unchallenged. They were just out there broadcasting their BS. And so I had to challenge it. I could not stand it. So I stood there, holding my sign. They had all their signs, big giant signs that they don't hold. They just prop up everywhere. And so I just stood there, and they started yelling at me to leave because I was standing in front of their signs that they had plastered everywhere, so that there was no place for me to stand, because they don't actually care about free speech, only power. But I wouldn't move. I'm like, nope, I'm not leaving. I am not leaving. Boom! There I was, holding my sign. So what do the fascists do? They call the police. They call the police on me, because how dare I practice free speech? The fascists own that corner. They have their signs everywhere. They had their people everywhere. That was their corner. They're gonna broadcast. How dare you come here and put another message? Practice your free speech. No, we have the power. We will crush you with the state. So we call the police. So the police came, and they didn't do anything to me, because I had just as much right to be there as everyone else, and I wasn't being disruptive or anything. So turn it down a little bit. La. All right. So yeah, here, let me show you that sign again. You gotta, I want you to see it. I want you to understand it really good. These people, the guy in the red hat, and that's his wife next to him, who doesn't go there very much, but the guy in the red hat for sure, he called the police on me because I held a sign that said Trump is a traitor, while he's out there with a sign that says Russia is not our enemy, the US government is our enemy. Do you see how crazy this is? Do you see where we are as a country? People like that were outside unchallenged last year. I had to do something. So those guys are out there again, and I held my sign again. They tried to bait me. They tried to pull me into their conversation. I wouldn't do it because I have nothing to tell them. I have nothing to say to them. The only reason they want to talk to me is to drag me down. So Watashi wa nomae. It's too fast. Watashi no name wa. Watashi no name wa Roboto desu. Hajimemate. Man, my Japanese is really bad now. I don't even practice it. I don't have anyone to talk to. So. Okay, that's a dragon egg. Ha ha ha! I figured it out. I figured out how to get it. So yeah, there's a dragon egg chilling in my base. Ha 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 ha! You can't get that anywhere else. There's only one in the whole world. Like, you can summon the Ender Dragon again, but it won't make another one. There's only one, and I got it. Okay, I need more coffee. So Saturday Market, that's what happened. And then another problem is that some guy came up to me and tried to hijack my energy for his thing. He came up to me and said, "Oh, I see you're holding your sign. But do you know that 9/11 was an inside job?" And I'm like, man, whatever, get out of here. I'm holding this sign that says Trump is a traitor. He's like, no, 9/11 was an inside job. 9/11. And it's like, oh, jeez. So yeah, people will try to hijack. People try to hijack my energy for their messages. And I'm like, nope, it's not happening. I'm here for this message. And then another guy, another older white guy, came up to me, and he tried to gaslight. See the old fox gaslighting thing. He came up to me. He's like, "Oh, so what are you out here for?" I'm like, "Oh, Trump is a traitor." "Oh, why do you say Trump is a traitor?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, it's in the Mueller report." He's like, "Oh, what report?" And I'm like, Spidey sense tingling. I'm like, I know exactly what this guy's about. So, so I'm like, "Oh, you don't know the Mueller report? Let me tell you." And so I whip out the executive summary because I carried it with me there for a moment like this. And then as soon as I start talking about it, he's like, "Oh, the Mueller report is garbage." And I'm like, "Oh, I thought you didn't know anything about it." And he's like, "Oh, I know about it." I'm like, "Oh, then you're acting in bad faith." and then what's he gonna do? Because he got called out. Fox News teaches their people, their audience, to engage in bad faith behavior. Because Tucker Carlson does it all the time. And Tucker Carlson. I can't even say his name. Tucker Carlson. He's got like a bad... his name does not fit well in my mouth. I don't like it. Yeah, that guy's a fascist too. Yeah, people acting bad. So, but there's a pattern. You can see the pattern. So as soon as I called out his bad faith, there's a pattern. First they deny that, they say what report, then they deny that, so they deny the report. Then when you pull out the report, then they discredit the report. Then once they discredit the report, the next thing they do is they say, what about Hillary? What about Obama? What about those crimes that need to be investigated? There's a pattern. You can see the pattern every time. What report? Deny the report, discredit the report, redirect to Obama or Hillary. Every time. It's like playing a Street Fighter, Street Fighter 2. It's like playing a fighting game, with the 6 buttons and the combos, right? Once you learn the combo, like it's easy how to block it and then counterattack. It's easy. Every time they do the same thing. Okay. So there was that. So let me jump to like the big news, which was the Mueller report. Well, what's up with the Mueller report? Like, it finally came out. There was nothing here. Now there's a tree. The Mueller report. Cool. So the 400-page report finally came out. It was a big, huge mess, and I'm gonna read a summary. Oh, wait. I'm gonna read a summary from oh man, I don't have her name. I gotta get her name first. Hold on, I'm sorry. Yeah, this is a great summary. She read the report and put up like a wonderful, great summary that I have to share it with you. Oh my gosh. There we go. Karen Piper. So Karen Piper helped summarize this report. And what she said was that, number one, Trump would most likely not be president if it wasn't for the Russians. If the Russians didn't help, then Trump wouldn't be president. Number two, Trump definitely obstructed justice with corrupt intent. Not only did he obstruct justice, he did it on purpose to cover his ass. So he knew what he was doing. When he obstructed justice, it wasn't like, oh, I didn't know. It was, I know that I'm doing this to obstruct justice, and I'm trying to do it on purpose. I know what I'm doing. All right. Number three, Russia hacked our voting technology. Let's see, including administrators' computers. That's pretty big. They got into our system, our hacking, our voting system is what that's saying. Number four, Trump's staff turned on him when they were in front of Mueller. So, they were like, sure, boss, sure. And then when the boss was gone, when Trump was gone, and they were in front of Mr. Mueller or Mueller, they're like, they told him all this dirt that Trump did. All this crime that Trump did. So, number five, most of Trump's staff won't do what he asks. Like, he'll say, hey, do this terrible thing, and Trump, the guy be like, okay, but they won't do it. They'll ignore him, or they'll lie and say they'll do it, and then hope he forgets. All right, number six, Trump will throw anyone under the bus. He demands criminal loyalty, but then distances himself from criminal acts so that someone else takes the fall. Right? Because Trump is a coward. So Trump just uses people, is what that says. Trump uses people. Number seven, the New York Times and the Washington Post should be commended for their stellar reporting, confirmed by the Mueller interviews. So Mueller was on it, or the New York Times and the Washington Post, they were on the ball. If you were reading those newspapers, you knew what was happening. If you read Fox, you have no idea what's happening. Okay. Number eight, Trump's only legal defense is that the president cannot be held accountable for crimes. But Mueller says why Trump's position is without merit. There's no way that works. Mueller's like, yeah, that's lame. Mueller destroys that defense. All right. Number nine, Billy Barr, cleanup man Billy Barr, Mr. Liar Billy Barr, lied about the report's conclusion. Totally lied about everything. His summary was lame. It was awful. His 4-page summary was like a total cover-up job. He lied. He totally lied about what it said. But it wasn't like it wasn't expected. He lied before in the 80s before Congress. That's why they picked him, because this dude will lie in writing. All right. Let's see. Number 10. Robert Mueller believes it is the duty of Congress to impeach and or prosecute Donald Trump for obstruction of justice with corrupt intent. So Mueller's last line, the protection of the criminal justice system from corrupt acts by any person, including the president, accords with the fundamental principles of our government that no person in this country is so high that he is above the law. There it is. Congress must impeach. Congress must impeach. So when you read the Mueller report, and and you only look at the executive, the executive summary, the right-wing media and the Russian trolls are all saying the same thing. They're repeating what Billy Barr said about the report, which was no obstruction, no collusion. That's all they'll say. It says, did not establish. Well, no, they don't even say that much because they don't know that much. They'll just say, no obstruction, no collusion. But if you read the report, it it makes an interesting point. What is that there? Get out of there. I'll come back for you. It says that it makes the a big deal about the word establish, to establish something. So Mueller established a whole bunch of stuff. He established it, that it was absolutely. He established that Russia attacked us. He established that they hacked into Hillary Clinton's. He established they preferred Trump and didn't like Clinton, and they established that the Trump campaign was aware, knew that Russia really wanted to get in there, and they didn't tell anyone. So, but here's the thing. They did not establish that there was conspiracy. So, okay, but wait. Now, here's where the right wing jumps on it and goes through. Oh, there it is. Oh! No, guys. Nope. Because then, in the next section, right after that, Mother says, wait a minute. Let me explain to you what it means to establish and not establish. And so Mother explains it. He says, okay, when we establish something, that means we are 100% absolutely certain of it. We have proof, we have everything. We got everything. So it's like super high level of evidence that you need to say established. It's like ridiculously high. It's absolutely certain. If you say established, it is certain beyond anything. You have proof. But if it is not established, it doesn't mean that there's no evidence. It just means you don't have 100% proof of it. And then you'll say, well, why don't you have 100% proof? Well, because people lie. People in a conspiracy lie about stuff. So, let me give you an example of the difference between establish and not establish. Okay, so suppose you're just watching. You're watching this room. And you're watching this room. And you see two guys come from opposite directions. And these two guys have never had contact with each other that you know of. Like, they're just totally separate, never talked to each other before. These guys both walk into a room. You can hear from outside sounds of a conversation. But you can't make out the words. After like 5 minutes, these two guys who have never met before, they go outside. And one guy goes over here and this other guy goes over here in different rooms, and they each film a dance choreograph. Only one side of it. The dirty. This guy plays Patrick Swayze, and the other guy plays, I forgot her name. The baby. I forgot her name. But there's only one person in each room, and they each do the dance. The dirty dancing dance. And then they leave the room and then go away. And then on the television screen, you see each of the video combined, so that even though they're in a room separate, they do the whole dance, the dirty dancing dance, together on the video. So if you're sitting there watching it, you're like, okay, I can establish that these two guys walked into a room. I can establish they came out. I can establish they had a conversation. I can establish they went into these other rooms to film these things. I can establish that it created a bigger thing by their separate actions. It created something bigger. I can establish all that because I watched it happen. But I cannot establish collusion. I cannot establish, well, there's no, I cannot establish conspiracy. I cannot establish conspiracy, even though all the signs point to it. Why can't I establish conspiracy? Because I don't know what they said in that room. I don't know. I didn't hear them say, I don't have a written record of them agreeing to do this together and working out the plan that they're going to go out and do the Dirty Dancing dance. I can't establish it. And I can interview the guy. Hey, dude, when you walked in that room, did you guys agree to do any of this stuff? And he'll say, I never walked in that room. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know that guy. We never met. I don't even know what you're talking about. So the guy will lie. So you cannot establish it. But look at all the evidence you have. Like, don't get hung up on the word established. That's very, very special language they used. Because, yeah, you have everything else around it. There's a super high likelihood. There's a gigantic, it's most likely. There's no other way you can explain it. So in the mother example, there's a bunch of places where they can't establish things, establish a motive. Like, why did Manafort give to the Russians a whole bunch of polling data? Why? Well, we don't have a written record of them saying, oh, I'm going to give you this data, and then you can use this data to attack us. There's no record of it. There's no phone call of it. When we ask Manafort says, I don't know what you're talking about. So we can't establish that Manafort and the Russians coordinated to attack the United States. But come on! Don't be stupid. So yeah, so you gotta watch out for that kind of thing, man. And like, the thing is that this demands impeachment. We cannot wait for an election because the Russians are already inside. Man, okay, my representative is Congressman Kurt Schrader. And Congressman Kurt Schrader put up on his Facebook page the question of impeachment. And I was on there, I'm like, yeah, certainly. But then afterwards, this flood of bots, they're bots, they're sock puppet accounts, came on and did these one sentence lines to put disinformation, to spread doubt, and to redirect to fascist priorities like restricting the vote and immigration and stuff like that. Just things to stir up hate. Like, I watched it happen. Because I was trying to fight against it. And like, yeah, unless I'm a moderator, I can't really do it. I can try to make people aware and hope they can see it, but I can't delete them or anything. So absolutely, we're under attack. So I called it framing. You know, that they want to frame things in a certain way and have you see it from their perspective. But there's the former FBI agent Asha, her name is not that hard to say. I just Asha Rangapanga. Oh man, see, you're bad, Rob. You gotta get better at this. Here, Asha. Oh, I had it. Okay, Asha Rangappa. Asha Rangappa is a former FBI agent, and she shared with us the idea the concept of what was it? Reflexive control. Reflexive control. It's a way. It's like offensive framing. It's like forcing upon you to think of it by giving you a false choice, and it only works if you take that false choice. And then once you fall into their false choice, then they can give you another false choice, and then totally get you mixed up and falling off your course. So that's what was happening. That's sort of what happens on Kurt Schrader's Facebook page. Like, people will come in and give the false choice of, we're not a democracy, we're a republic. Like that's example of reflexive conditioning. Number one, that's going to derail any kind of conversation you're having, because it has nothing to do with anything, but they always mention it. And if you take the bait, then you fall into their trap. Oh, we are a democracy. No, we're a republic. No, we're not. You get tangled up in the labels, and then you can't do anything because you wasted all your energy arguing nothing. All your bandwidth is wasted on arguing nothing. Like, control your bandwidth. Don't let them take it. Like, if they give you a false choice, don't take that false choice. Reframe it in the way you want them to talk. Don't let them control the conversation. So, but that's what the trolls are doing. And it's an actual real thing, right? There's books about it. Like, this FBI agent is telling us about it. Like, oh yeah, here's some FBI stuff, like counterintelligence stuff. Like, so it's a real deal. It's a real deal, guys. It's really happening. And you can see it because I go to the Saturday Market and people use it on me. Okay, so here's this. What else was I doing? Okay, at one point, some guy came to me and tried to force me into his false reasoning, and I wouldn't take it. And so I told him straight up, "Go away, go away." Right? And of course, he got all huffy about it and planted his feet and went like that. I just started singing, "Trump is a traitor, Trump is a traitor, Trump is a traitor all day. Trump is a traitor, Trump is a traitor, Trump is a traitor all day, yeah." You know, just, and so he left. But I'm like, man, dude, what is that? That's me using my privilege. I straight up told another white dude, I don't know if he was white, but another male dude, to go away. I'm like, get out of here, get out of here. Scram, get out of here. You're bothering me. Scram. Like, that's privilege. Because, like, if I were a woman, I might be afraid of physical violence. I don't think that guy would have taken it nearly as well if a woman said that to him, that is if I said it to him. I only got 18? Oh, there's some more. $25. I'm low on food. Oh, that's pork chop. Oh, that's why. Okay. Yeah, so that was my privilege. I was able to just tell a guy to go away and leave me alone in public, make him look not so great, and he backed down. Could a woman have done that? I'm not saying that she's weak, but I'm saying that society doesn't necessarily respect the rights of women. And I know this because on the school board, in Salem Kaiser School Board, there's going to be an election here, and the right wing is pushing a bunch of pro-lifer, well, anti-choicers, a bunch of anti-choice people to Kristen Shiara Law. A bunch of anti-choicers who want to push the Christian religious law into the school district, and there's a big vote about it. And this is the fight over women's rights. Like, come on, you guys are still doing this? So yeah, women are constantly under attack by the right wing. And that's just one example of it. So, I wonder, since women are constantly under attack, it's a lot harder for them to stand up and call Trump a traitor than it is for me. It's almost my duty to do it because I have this privilege. I have to do this because I have this privilege. This is dirty privilege, man. I gotta wash it somehow. So, this is how I wash it. I do things that have to be done because other people can't, because they're oppressed by the system that we're all trying to reform. This is still working? Yeah, that's almost full. Or that's full. Ha 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 ha. There goes the wool. Okay, yeah, it's still going. I love this thing. I think it's great. Yeah. So, yeah, the Russian military is using psyops against American civilians. Like, Mueller's report confirms it. So, American citizens, right? You're all into this Second Amendment militia thing, right? Well, they come for your mind as well, where guns won't help you. So, as a good citizen, you need to be aware of the Russian techniques that are being used to subvert your independent thought and to make you question your country, its principles, and your own principles and values. I mean, the military wants to tear you down and turn you into a robot that repeats Russian propaganda. And that's what Fox News is. It's a tool to break down free humans and turn them into robots that parrot fascism. So, all right, enough of that. This is supposed to be a good, happy day. I mean, I think it is. You know what? Because with the Mueller report, I think that sheds a huge amount of light on everything. Like, I have been talking for a year and a half about this kind of stuff, and people don't believe me. Well, now I got a report to back me up. So it's not just me talking. It's like, now should we impeach the guy? Yes, impeach him. Of course you got to impeach him. The Constitution demands you impeach Trump. Demands it. The only presidential candidate I've heard so far to say yes, impeach Trump, has been Elizabeth Warren. Maybe the Pete guy came afterwards. I don't want to say his name. I can't say it. I don't hear it, so I don't know. What was it? Boot Edge? The only way, yeah, but really Elizabeth Warren came first, and I'm all about Elizabeth Warren. I think the only weakness I might have with her is that she doesn't support Medicare for everyone, and you got to have Medicare for everyone. There's no other way. Ooh, I like that. It's a crate. That's neat. A crate of redstone. That's neat. Yeah, I'm all about Medicare for everyone. It's got to be Medicare for everyone. We got to get away from this idea of paying a premium every month. Like, let's just pay it to taxes and then have it Medicare for everyone. expanded, not just plain Medicare, but expanded Medicare for dental and vision too. I mean, dude, we're gonna go for all of it. Let's do the moonshot, like for real. Like I want it all, because we need to be reborn as a country. This is absolutely awful what's been going on to us, but it has given us vision. It's given us clarity. We can see now clearly what we are and what we aren't. We need to take this opportunity to reform and reshape America, to be reborn. It's important that we do it because the world is counting on us. We still have climate change to deal with, and the world is going to need us in tip-top shape to deal with this. We can't do it if we're divided. We can't do it if we're broken and we're oppressing half the people. We can't do it. We can't do it if we're controlled by a foreign entity. No, we gotta seize control of our government, of our lives, of our spirit, and manifest, create the future that we want. I'm confident we can do it. I mean, people are afraid of impeachment, but I guarantee you, once impeachment starts and all this starts coming out, even the people who deny it won't be able to deny it when it's on TV, like all the time. They won't. They cannot read the Mueller report and say, I don't believe it. But when it's on TV, nonstop, under oath, people will figure it out. And I firmly believe Americans will wake up. I firmly believe it. All you got to do is give them the truth. Different train stations. It's so funny. They're all different train stations. Drink more coffee. Alright. AFK Swamp Base, Grandmother Mountain. There's the old tracks. I'm gonna probably reuse them later on. That's the old track over there, and then it's so lame. Oh no, it works. It's enough. Oh, here's Grandmother Mountain. That's the old track there. And here we are, back where we started. Grandmother Mountain. Grandmother Station. So, there was a poem that was hanging above the sink at my grandmother's house. It's a prayer, but it was a poem prayer. And I can't remember all of it, but I remember the one line. Although I must have Martha's hands, I have a merry mind. And I think that sticks with me a lot. Yeah. Well, all right, guys and gals, and everyone. Thanks for coming along. I hope your Easter is beautiful. It's not so beautiful in other places right now. Sri Lanka. But yeah, this is something big is afoot. I mean, I think you all feel it, you all know it, and we're in the middle of it. We're in the middle of history. This is like a big moment in history this time. So I don't know. Try to notice the way things look around you and the way things feel. It's historic. All right, everyone. Peace. Let's get through this. Out.